Hi everybody, it's Jen with Caketastic Cakes. I'm going to show you how I made this pink drizzle cake here with some makeup and the little TikTok logo and that kind of thing just for fun. And so yeah, I'm going to start out with a 6-inch cake. I've got 4 layers of it, and I'm just going to put a crumb coating of icing on it, and then I'm going to stick it in the fridge. My husband there decided to sit and chat with me, so he's making a little bit of a guest appearance there, or at least his arm and elbow is. Now that it's out of the fridge, I'm going to cover it in a thick layer of just some light pink buttercream icing. This is American buttercream, so it's a crusting buttercream. You know, use whatever you want, smooth it out, make it as pretty as you can, and if you follow me in any of my other videos, you know smoothing out icing is not my strong suit, but I do the best I can. I just keep on trying. Alright, now I am adding some hot pink drizzle to the sides here. This stuff is, I think, pretty great. You can find the drizzle bottles in different colors, online, but I find that Walmart has the cheapest, and they have a pretty good assortment of color, and if you spin it really fast, you can't even see what I was doing there. So I like to use the Walmart one. It's only like $6, $5, something like that, so it's pretty affordable. Now, as far as the TikTok logo goes, I printed out a TikTok logo that I thought would fit the size of my cake. I cut out the black centerpiece and I cut out the blue and the pink parts. So those are the little scraps you see up top. I'm using gum paste right here in order to cut out all my shapes. So I started with some black gum paste, rolled out real thick, or I'm sorry, real thin, not thick, and then just followed and traced it along. I'm doing the same thing with the pink. This is a bit more of a mauve color. I feel like I should have gone with more of a hot pink color on this one. I think I kind of screwed up there, so make sure you're more careful than me. But when you cut out the pieces, just put a little bit of water on the sides of them, and then it will stick right to the original black piece right there. Again, this is all gum paste. You probably could use fondant for this if you wanted to. I chose not to because I find when I'm doing thin little pieces like this that fondant can get very stretchy and kind of lose its shape, and I didn't want that to happen, so gum paste stays a little bit more true to the size and shape when you originally cut it. So yeah, that's why I used it. Again, a little bit of water just brushed on the side where it's going to press up against the original black part. Press it into place, and there you go. It's already kind of coming together, and that little tiny piece of pink up at the top there too. Don't forget about that. Now, the same thing that you did with the black and the pink, you're going to do with the blue. You're going to take the blue pieces, roll out some blue fondant nice and thin, cut it out as carefully as you can, and then stick it all together. Put it aside to let it set. And now I'm going to show you how to make a couple of makeup brushes. I went with a wooden grain style of makeup brush. Do whatever you want, of course. But in order to get the wood grain, I've got my copper color in the center there. I put a couple pieces of brown on the sides. And as you can see, I'm kind of twisting and rolling it between my hands together. And that's how it comes out. It comes out much more grained and much more wood looking, but it's nice and smooth. So I rolled it out to the shapes that I wanted, the lengths that I wanted, cut off any edges. I've got some light yellow gum paste here that I'm cutting to make the brushes. So this one is going to be a flat brush that's a little bit at an angle. That's going to go on my smaller handle there. And once I have the shape of the brush I like, I'm just going to make little chop, chop, chop kind of lines on the brush to make it look more bristly. And then put it with the brush handle. So the same thing with the other one. This one's going to be more of a big teardrop shape. I'm just putting some lines in it to make it look more like a proper brush. And I think I ended up trimming off the end, the flat end of my teardrop shape because it was just too big. It was a little bit too big for the handle that I was making. So yeah, as long as they can match up to the handles, then you're good. I'm going to do one more little thing here. And again, this is gum paste that I'm using, so because it does set a bit, you want to make sure if you're using gum paste that your brush handles stay as straight as possible. This little piece was just as you saw, kind of a long oval-y piece that I pressed down in the center to make a groove. And this is going to become like the metal handle part that connects the brush to the handle. The metal handle part. The metal clasping, joining part of the brush that joins the brush to the handle and holds it all in place. So I just wrapped it around, trim off the extra, and I'm using some gold shimmer to paint the little joining metal clasp parts together. And that kind of gives it more of a metallic look, makes it look a little nicer. This is just going to be a simple blush palette. So I took black gum paste, cut out a circle as you saw. It's a little thicker though, so I left a little bit of meat to this one. Hollowed out the center just to make kind of a dish. I have some of the same pink that I used for the TikTok logo. Cut out a circle that'll fit inside of that groove that I made. And I have some different color shimmers, so that's what I'm using here. I'm using some rose-colored shimmer, and I'm painting it all over the top of that pink circle that I cut out just to make it look more like a makeup. So more of a shiny finished. I'm not big on makeup, so sorry if I'm just butchering this. But the idea is to make it look more like a shimmer palette of makeup. And then I realized I didn't like how it looked kind of bold in. So I just poured some of my powder right inside of it. This is an edible shimmer. I can't imagine anyone just taking a bite out of this powdery, dusty stuff, but if they did, they wouldn't get hurt, so there you go. So I just spread it around so it's nice and even. I put a little bit of water on the outside on the black part to make it shiny, to make it look more like a shiny plastic. I've got more of my black here, cutting out a little rectangle. Again, it's on a little bit thicker. And this is going to become an eyeshadow palette, I guess, and I'm making two little wells in it. But as you can see when I press down, because the walls are so close to the sides, it bows out a little bit. So I'm going to trim off those edges. Once they're back rectangular shaped again, I'm going to pour some different colored powder shimmers that I have. Again, this is edible. I'm not poisoning anybody. Can't imagine wanting to eat it, but you could if you wanted to. So I have a green and a blue that I put in there, and that was my eyeshadow. This is going to be a tube of lipstick. I have just some gold gum paste. I'm rolling it into as proper of a cylinder as I can here. And that's going to be the bottom part of the tube of lipstick. So I've got some red gum paste. I'm going to roll it out nice and thin. I'm going to pinch off and angle the one end so it has that kind of new lipstick shape to it. Make sure it's smaller than the bottom tube part. And when you stick it on like that, you can see how it's a lot smaller than the bottom part, which is good. And then I'm going to take a little thin rectangle of the same gold and wrap it. So that way it's got the, I don't know what it's called, the inner part where the lipstick rises out of. You hold on to it, you twist the bottom, and then the lipstick comes up. That part. It doesn't have a lid though. And again, with the gold shimmer, I'm making it all shiny. Now I have some pink chocolate bark that I had made. I have just different pink and white sparkles and shimmers and things inside of it. Going to just stick it in my cake here and there. I'm going to place my makeup before it gets too filled up with chocolate bark pieces. I put my TikTok symbol on the side. There's my other makeup brush there. There's my other makeup palette. And then I'm going to just add some more pieces of the bark. I stuck some on the sides, some on the bottom. There goes my lipstick because I wanted to make sure that was front and center. And again, just little pieces here and there, just however I felt like it looked nice. And that was it. So super simple, right? Not anything too in depth or anything. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please like and subscribe because it helps me out as well. I've got a ton of other videos out there, so be sure to take a look. And as always, thanks for watching Caketastic Cakes.